What is up everybody, welcome back to another stock market video, and today I'm going to talk about the RIVIAN IPO. I just want to be straight up, and I did not buy into this IPO because I think it's way overvalued and overhyped, which I'll go over in the video. So the first article reading, RIVIAN customers who pre-ordered electric SUVs and trucks made millions from the IPO pop. So this article just highlights if you put a deposit down to buy a RIVIAN vehicle when they start producing them, that you are allowed access to the IPO, which was priced for anyone doing this at $78 per share. And the people who partook in this saw the instant gains when RIVIAN IPO'd, and everyone was able to buy the shares, which shot up quite a bit. So by the time it hit the market, the share price had already climbed up to $122, and we can see an instant gain pretty much overnight as it started trading of 13.8%. And the main reason I did not buy into RIVIAN is because of its market cap. Having not produced any production vehicles at high volume, they're already priced at $104 billion. So I think this valuation is pretty much overhyped because the risk to reward ratio is very high. So going to our next article, which is RIVIAN IPO, what you need to know. It states here that the initial valuation for RIVIAN was around about $67 billion, and that the original price was per share $57 to $62 range before all the hype came in. We're pretty much looking at double the amount of value right now for what you're paying. And just having a look at the banks that are backing RIVIAN, we see here that they're huge. The Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan and Co, and another 20 banks listed in this IPO to get some shares. So pretty much, in my opinion, it's a very hot stock because everyone wants to own it. But at this price, this is way overvaluation, and the EV hype has come back again. This is just my opinion, but once the lockout starts happening and people are allowed to share their initial IPO shares, which they've made a lot of money on already for this company that hasn't produced any production vehicles, that the share price is gonna take a hit, or there's gonna be huge selling pressure. So going over to this Excel sheet that I've shared before on the channel, just shows the market caps of the top 25 automakers in the world, and you can see that RIVIAN is already gone up to 4th place with their valuation of $122 billion. So that obviously moves, but you can see that no vehicles have been made and they're valued here already. This valuation puts them ahead of BYD, General Motors, Ford, even Lucid, NIO, Ferrari, big companies that produce lots of vehicles, Honda, all across that. And this is pretty crazy stuff. So with an evaluation like this, people are pricing in some ridiculous growth. A lot of this valuation comes from trying to find the next Tesla, of whether these guys can produce the same results. Albeit in my small research of them, they do have a lot of Tesla staff, but this is a company that hasn't even fully set up yet. No one really knows what their true value is, but having this kind of valuation, you would think that they already have a lot of cars or some fancy way to produce a lot of these cars to build that revenue, but right now we don't really know, so people are paying a premium to this. I think realistically you're pretty much paying 5 years into the future with this, and I don't even know how much they're going to be making in the future, so it's going to be really interesting when they start producing their first financials of where they're going to be. According to this article by Inside EVs, RIVIAN are looking to make about 48,000 cars, or about 50,000 cars in their first year. And moving over to Yahoo Finance, obviously RIVIAN is very new, so you can see here that we can just see the market cap. So if we look to the right hand side, there is no financials or any analyst recommendations for the stock right now because it's new. Also going over to Ticket Terminal, we can see that the valuations is empty and the estimates empty because they just IPO'd. So someone who researches electric vehicle stocks, I will not be buying any RIVIAN for the moment. I think it's highly overvalued, there's a lot of risk in it, and we don't know how the company performs. A lot of people are FOMOing into this deal, and I think there's going to be a big fallout if we have a bear market, or there's bad shocks to the stock market in general, or when there's going to be inside selling shares out, especially that they've gained a lot of money just going into the public market. I think a lot of the hype comes from the fact that people want to find the next Tesla and find the next growth company, and although you could probably make money off RIVIAN, it is just too risky for me to even do that. Would I invest in them in the future? Maybe I would, if their price takes a bit of a hammering and they can actually make those vehicles and show some fundamentals, but right now it is not a stock for me. My experience in manufacturing tells me that it is very difficult to go from prototyping to then mass producing cars, because you have to think of a lot of things. From prototyping to mass production, you got to change tools, logistics, get all your equipment from. I am interested though of how they go in the future, because I do like the look of their cars, and it's also awesome to see more electric vehicles companies that are producing it, and therefore eventually it's going to run down to people like me, the average user, and the cost price will come down as well as more players get into it, which means that it's more affordable for the little guy. So that is my take on Rivian. Obviously it's just my opinion, so feel free to put down any comments if you invested in them and what you expect from the company in the future. Feel free to hit like on the video and subscribe if you're interested in investing. Thank you for watching, and if you're interested in options trading and how I make passive income weekly, feel free to hit this video that's coming up at the end. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. May the gains be with you. Goodbye.